The number one killer to a hot water heater is a rusty tank. And how do you fight against a rusty tank? An anode rod. When was the last time you changed out your anode rod? So let's grab our plumbing bag and change it. I didn't have a shutoff valve, so I'm going to throw one in there. After you close your shutoff valve, go ahead and grab a 1 1/16 socket. This is one of the few things in plumbing that has a universal size. Your rod might be exposed on the top, like mine is, or you may need to take off some sort of cap or even dig through some insulation, depending on your brand. It's best to drain some water out of the tank so it doesn't flow out the top, but I'll show you here what happens when you don't. You can try a long breaker bar with a cheater pipe, but it's best to get an impact because these things are seized in there sometimes. And you can see here why you want to drain some out of the bottom so it doesn't make a mess. Now this rod will be hot, so just be careful when you pull it out. Now is a good time to tell you what exactly this rod does. This rod is made out of magnesium, aluminum, or zinc. In layman's terms, this rod sacrifices itself so that the minerals and elements in the water will attack it instead of your tank. That's why this needs to be changed out once in a while, because once this rod is eaten up or calcified by your hot water, it can no longer be beneficial, and that's when your tank will start to rot out. Some of these you pull out will be completely eaten away, and some of these, like mine, will just have a buildup on the outside, and one is just as bad as the other. These things last anywhere from 2 to 5 years, and they recommend every year pulling it out and inspecting it. I have a friend in Wisconsin whose water is so bad that within 5 years, the rod was completely eaten away and it had rusted through the tank. They're very easy to replace and relatively inexpensive. Here you can see the difference from the old one, which is on the right, and the new one, which is on the left. Before you install your new rod, put on some Teflon tape and or pipe dope on the threads. You could buy a straight one, or you could buy one that looks like nunchucks that's flexible in tight spots like this one here. This one is magnesium. This is the most common and probably the one you'll want to buy. In some rare cases where you have extremely hard water, you'll want to get an aluminum one, or if you have rotten egg smell, something with zinc in it. It's best to tighten it by hand like you see here, but I was limited on room and I feel comfortable with my impact. Put your little cap back on, turn on the water, clean up, and now you're ready to watch my next video, which is how to flush your water heater correctly. Or I'm sure you'll find something interesting in the 2-minute tutorial playlist. And make sure you subscribe for more videos like this.